Hi Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this is your March 2017 forecast. So the big news this month is that Venus is going retrograde. And Venus is that planet of love, beauty, affection, and also money. So the focus when Venus goes retrograde is usually relationship issues and financial issues. So what does it mean when Venus goes retrograde? And Venus goes retrograde every 18 months. For everyone's Generally speaking, when Venus goes retrograde, it's about finishing up past business with relationships. Sometimes we may find that people from our past, friends, partners, lovers, resurface. So we're being looked at by other people, or perhaps we decide to sweep in for a second look. When Venus goes retrograde, it's also a good time to renegotiate the terms of financial contracts and deals. So renegotiating these can be very fruitful. The time when Venus goes retrograde and then again direct are good times to change lawyers. Venus going retrograde is also a good time for second-hand bargains. So particularly if you know the true value of something and the seller doesn't, you can swoop in for a great bargain. On the other hand, because Venus is inclined to be a little bit more frivolous, you can make impractical purchases at this time. So Venus will be going retrograde in your 6th house, and this is the house of work and health. So Venus retrograding in the 6th house can be a bit of a conundrum because here Venus finds it very hard to resist overindulging in food. So it might be a good time to start the Venus retrograde period with a cleanse or a detox just to get off on the best foot possible. With Venus retrograde in the 6th, because this house deals with a lot of purging, detoxing and purification, you may find yourself romanticizing past romantic interests, perhaps people that weren't good for you. So you may be thinking nostalgically about them, and perhaps now's the best time to surrender those sorts of fantasies. So let's look at what else is happening this month. Your ruling planet Mars is still in Aries and in the 6th house until the 10th of the month. And Mars in the 6th house is very productive, very efficient, particularly in Aries. You know, you're really inspired to tackle lots of work, you can get a lot done, you've got a lot of energy that you need to burn off. So it's very good to still be having a good exercise regime with this, just to burn off some of that steam. So Mars in the 6th, it's really about work goals, work ambitions. You're able to postpone immediate gratification. Always better to work on your own though, than with other people while Mars is in the 6th house. Because sometimes ego conflicts can come up a lot, particularly because you're more inclined to want to take initiative at this time. If you work for yourself, of course, this isn't a problem. So the Sun will be in the 5th house, in your 5th house until the 20th of March. And the 5th house, conversely, is all about having fun. It's the house of leisure, relaxation, what we do for pleasure. So also the house of romance. So a good combination here at the beginning of the month for the first 10 days with Mars in your 6th house and the Sun in your 5th. So you're feeling very passionately motivated to get things done. This is also the house of personal business and speculative risks. But insofar as it concerns personal business, it's anything that you consider your baby. So passion projects in particular are a favorite. So you're really able to push and promote yourself in this regard. This is particularly true because Mercury will be in the 5th house with the Sun until the 14th of March. Now Mercury here helps you be articulate. It's very good for communicating your thoughts and to convey what's on your mind. You know, you're also looking for more intellectual stimulation. So mental stimulation in the form of reading, writing, playing games. So Mercury and the Sun together make a great combo. Again, with regards to promoting personal business projects, passion projects, for firing things up, for having discussions. So very good for promoting yourself in this respect. With these two planets, it can also show lots of energy and enthusiasm around romance, partnerships, or perhaps financial gambles. But here, really, you're driven to set your own priorities, express yourself, so you really want to love what you do at this time. So from the 20th, the Sun moves into your 6th house, and this has got a very different flavor. This is all about duties and responsibilities in work, so managing your obligations. With the Sun here, it's all about efficiency, effectiveness, organization. And it's also the house of service, so you're more in tune with the needs of employers, employees, clients. So it's really about doing a job well, taking pride in what you do. Since Mercury will be joining the Sun in the 6th house from the 14th onwards, Mercury here really wants to improve your techniques and skills in terms of work that you're executing. So perhaps it's time to learn new work skills or adjuncts that help improve your performance, because really here it's all about excellent service. So with Mercury in the 6th house, one can be a little bit more conscientious about health concerns, possibly to the point of being a bit hypochondriac. So very detail orientated with regards to health, perhaps a bit fastidious, and at times a bit nervous about health problems. Mercury in the 6th is also a very good placement for working out problems in the workplace, for having conversations with employers, employees. So very good for discussions, working things out, tackling issues productively, and refining work skills and procedures. So let's look at the aspects this month. On the 1st of March, we've got the Sun conjuncting Neptune in your 5th house. And the Sun and Neptune, very good for artistic sensitivity, creative work and projects, particularly in the 5th house, which, like I said, can pertain to personal business, passion projects. This could also be a very sensitive placement for connecting with children through more creative avenues. But for some people, you can find yourself a little bit exhausted at this time. But for most of us, it will be a creative influence and inspiring. So on the 4th, Mercury conjuncts Neptune, which is also a very creative aspect for you. This one really perceptive, imaginative. It's really fuel for creative self-expression. Can favor an interest in occult and spiritual studies as well. On the other hand, because this is the house of speculative risks, this isn't a good time for that kind of a gamble, since Mercury and Neptune together can show being misled at times. So not the time for risky financial moves. On the 5th of March, we've got Mars trining Saturn from your 6th to your 2nd house. So Mars still in the 6th house. This is a very good placement, this favorable aspect between Mars and Saturn for getting a lot of work done, for tackling work that doesn't have to be glamorous or interesting. So you're really able to buckle down, focus, concentrate, work hard. The focus is very practical and utilitarian. On the 6th of March, the Sun conjuncts Mercury in your 5th house. And this is very good for having conversations and initiating business negotiations and discussions, so you taking the initiative. So Mercury here, having those conversations, it's good for the exchange and interchange of ideas and plans. So very restless, very active, and very good for starting up business projects. Mercury and the Sun will move to sextile Pluto on the 8th. So Mercury and Pluto, very good placement for creative projects for you, since Mercury and the Sun are still in your 5th house. So this is very good for reorganizing, restructuring. So, getting to the bottom of things, sorting out problems. These planetary energies are very good for problem solving, for mysteries, puzzles, working things out, and for restructuring and reorganizing things for you on a creative level, a very fruitful aspects. So the full moon this month will be on the 12th of March in Virgo in your 11th house. And this could be a very social period for you. The full moons are always culminating energies, so emotions are charged and high. And with you in the social house, you could be surrounded by friends, you could have lots of interactions with friends, so there could be an invitation to a social gathering. At times, it could be that, a friend may lean on you for support at this time, so you may have to perform a humanitarian gesture and help somebody else out in the time of need. So on the 17th, we've got a difficult aspect between the Sun and Saturn, between your 5th and 2nd houses. So although this is a brief transit, it can raise some troubling issues. The Sun in square to Saturn can show restrictions, obstructions, barriers, and for you this could be around romantic interests, it could be around children, it could be around finances or budgets. So duties and obligations tend to run high, but conversely, there's low energy to tackle these things. So feeling a little bit flat and discouraged at this time, dealing with obstructions and delays. On the 18th, Mercury conjuncts Venus in your 6th house, and this is a very good placement for articulating your feelings, so for declarations of love. So because this is the house of work, these two planets are also very good for commerce and trade and business dealings generally, so very favorable in this respect. On the 23rd, we've got Mercury squaring Pluto from your 6th to your 3rd house. And this could really show some obsessive thinking, some preoccupation. You may find yourself a little bit OCD, focusing on a problem, not able to let it go like a dog with a bone. You could also find yourself, your opinions and ideas being, being discarded or not taken seriously, or conversely, that you're being provoked in some way. So just try and get through this with one without having too many arguments. On the 25th, we've got the Sun conjuncting Venus in your 6th house. And this is very good for self-expression, creativity, and for you this could be through avenues of work, so creative projects, but also very good for relationship epiphanies. So when the Sun and Venus come together in Venus's retrograde cycle, it can be good for aha moments, for clarity on relationship issues, issues of trust, issues of intimacy, and resolving those things creatively. On the 28th, we've got a very productive new moon happening in Aries in your 6th house. We've got the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus all in Aries. And the 6th house is that house of work and health. So this could be the start of a new exercise regime, a new diet regime, so you'll be very amped to get it off the ground, to take the initiative. With regards to work goals, you'll be feeling very motivated and amped, to be more productive, to get more done, to be more effective in the services that you provide. So very good startup energy running for the next 2 weeks following the 28th. So really run with those goals around work and health. So the month concludes with Jupiter squaring Pluto from your 12th to your 3rd house. Now this aspect can show striving for power. You're looking for places in your life where you can achieve success, get recognition. So some kind of social standing, you wanting to make a difference. It can also be very fruitful for kind of, sorting out problems, reforming areas of your life. And for you, this could be happening in a very personal and private way. So not necessarily something that's up for public consumption just yet. It could really be something that you're developing behind the scenes and perfecting before you launch it and take it out into public view. If you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe, and thanks so much for listening.